Hi folks, welcome to Follow the Leader, a podcast focused on telling character-driven stories through the use of GM-less tabletop games where we can all take the lead. You can find us on Twitter at FTLcast and at FTLcast.com. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/ you've guessed it, FTLcast. Don't type in, you've guessed it, that will be way too long a URL. Maybe I'll buy it later. Anyway, you can go there if you want to give us some money. And today we're playing Goblin Country by Chloe Montgomery and Alyssa Ridley. For those of you who are new to this game, and you probably are because it's not long had its Kickstarter, you should go check it out. But here are the basics. It is the natural desire of a goblin to go on an adventure. Be it finding old ruins of clans long past or stealing from the nearby human settlement, they love to get into mishaps and mayhem. But something big is on the horizon, and it'll be the goblin's biggest adventure yet. A game about adventure, magic, and trying to find your family's place in the world. A game of belonging outside belonging about goblins. Build a community, make trouble. I'm Jade, and you can find me on Twitter at JadeOxRose, and my pronouns are they, them. Playing with me today we have a guest. It's Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stormer. I'm a podcaster, game designer, and the unofficial art designer of the Olive Garden restaurant. My pronouns are he, his. You can find me on Twitter at Party of One Pod. You can find my work at jeffstormer.com.
We have Mac.
Hello, I am Mac. You can find me on the internet pretty much anywhere you so desire at Citadel of Swords. I don't know why I said it like that, but that's cool. Yeah, that's me.
And we have Sam.
Hello, I'm Sam. You can find me on Twitter at SAKalo, and you can find my art at the website www.samkalo.art. It doesn't fill that in automatically for some reason, the World Wide Web part, so you have to type it in or else the website doesn't work. We're all just feeling it today.
We're all feeling it today.
Our lines, which are things we absolutely do not want to see, are homophobia and transphobia, racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, violence against children and animals, sexual assault, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, unwanted pregnancy, plagues, and pandemics. Our veils, things we're fine with addressing but will just fade to black on. Steamy situations, and terminal illness.
I have a quick note here, which is that you oftentimes will see goblins used as anti-Semitic caricatures. We're not fucking doing that. Thanks.
This is true.
That is true. That is something that I did not even think about, and yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah. No, we are not.
The two Jews of the podcast are on right now.
Yeah, we here.
We're not about that.
We out here.
No.
I just want to be, super clear. I don't think it would actually have come up, but I want to make sure that is, in place before we even get started. That,
yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, we are aware of that connotation, and we are steering a nautical mile away from it at all times, at least.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm making it clear to the audience as well. Because we know that, but the audience might not have caught on yet that two of us are Jewish, and we hate that shit.
They didn't guess from the fact that we're both on our Hanukkahs, but whatever. Anyway, let's go. Let's keep going.
Anyway,
let's go, yeah.
Well, anyway, if people are listening to this because Jeff is on, I don't know.
Hi, everybody.
Anyway.
Now that we've got all that out, let's get started.
I'm just pointing out the fact that people might hop onto our show for the first time
Just
because
because
Jeff is here. And they do not know. It is cool. All right. So, Goblin Country. We're going to play a whole bunch of goblins, and we're very excited. As has been the case with other belonging outside belonging systems that we've played before, like Dreamskew, like Venture, and there have definitely been a couple of other examples, but I cannot think of them right now. It's a great system. Check it out if you haven't heard any of our episodes where we play it before. What we're going to do is introduce our characters. We're going to just roll through the little bits of information you have about them. Then we're going to ask questions of each other, just to get a vibe for who these goblins are. And then we're going to build our map, flesh out our elements, and then we'll get into scenes. So, Jeff, as is the hazing ritual, tradition here at Follow the Leader, you are first to introduce your character.
Of course. So my character, I am playing the crew. The crew, instead of one goblin, I am playing a group of the handiest goblins in the clan. All goblins know the crew is who you ask to get something done, whether that's planting kurgats, repairing a dam, or washing everyone's socks before an adventure. I am playing multiple individuals, their powers in shouting loud, knowing how to do the dirty jobs, and being able to work together properly. I'm going to play multiple goblins who will be named individually or identified or addressed as a group. I will name as many as I want during the game. I am playing the goblin crew known as the Goggle Squad. Goggle Squad! Our shared identifier is masks to hide our faces, which I will talk more about in a moment. We are the crew because we all have joint ownership of something, which I will also talk about in a moment. The two tasks that I'm going to skip the two tasks that the crew is relied upon for, because that's going to be the last thing I want to talk about. The two key relationships are we have a goblin crew that we are on good terms with, as well as a goblin that we are training in combat. And the tasks that we are relied upon for are protecting the Warren and discouraging travelers. And the way that we do that is through the object that we have joint ownership of, which is the Wacky Wyvern, which is, if you've ever seen Robosaurus, it's sort of a car. It's like a covered, so what the Wacky Wyvern is a car, and it's got mechanized wings and a little fire that shoots out of the front, and we wheel it out of some bushes, and it flaps its wings, it shoots some fire, we make a bunch of spooky noises. Our job is to present a horrifying monster to scare people off. The Goggle Squad is essentially we are the Warren's designated Scooby-Doo villain.
This makes me so fucking happy.
This is amazing.
They're so good.
Okay, fuck. All right. Mac, tell us about your goblin.
So I actually, just for the sake of the listener, I very last minute, as in about 20 minutes before we started recording, not even, no, about 20 minutes because of delays. 20 minutes before we started recording, I went, oh fuck, I know who I should play instead of what I had originally picked. So I'm playing the Trap Maker. You're the handiest in the clan. You know how to make things tick and what to do if they fall apart. If only any of your contraptions were of any use to the clan. The Trap Maker is a clever individual. Their power is in being able to think more than a minute forward, being very smart, thank you, and knowing how to get out of situations. So I'm playing a trash asshole little goblin named Rune. They use they, them pronouns. They have burned hands, that's their look. Why am I the Trap Maker? I like when pans go clang. One issue with all of my traps is they're always louder than intended. And one issue that never happens is they always need lots of materials. The trap you always have ready to go is Noise Crasher. I like the idea that I just, like, one of those goblins, I just carry a frying pan around and I just automatically just, like, bang it on things so it takes no effort or time. I can also probably just scream. Like, that was an original thought I had. I was like, what if one of my things is I just scream really loudly? It's fine. And two of my key relationships are my ill sister and someone who got caught in my first trap.
I love it. I love all of it. I'm here for every bit of this.
I love them so much.
Sam.
Hello. I will be playing the boss. The other goblins look to you as a leader. There's little unique about you, but you humbly accept their respect. Humbly is in air quotes. The boss is a smug, charismatic individual. The power is in being the punchline, having a cunning plan, and in smooth talking. My character's name, I made up a new character. This character's name is Forkstab. They use they, them pronouns. Their look is watchful eyes and also a peg leg. Why am I the boss? I have the shiniest buttons. Also, I killed the last leader, but that's sort of secondary to the buttons thing. Don't worry about it. One issue that always rears its head and one that never does. The issue that always rears its head is useful weapons. My weapon is a fork. Not necessarily the most useful weapon. One issue that never rears its head is other goblin clans, because we're all part of the same coalition now. Cunning plan that I always fall back on? Retreat. 2 key relationships are my apprentices and my second-in-command.
And I am playing the Tooth. Goblin culture dictates that all clans require at least one clan magician. The fact that very few modern goblins can actually use magic doesn't really matter to them. The Tooth is a mysterious individual, and their power is in withholding knowledge, tricking the foolish, and having a nose for danger. My goblin's name is Moles. Fairly flexible on pronouns, he, she, they. It's all much of nothing with them. Their look is sharpened teeth, and they also carry an umbrella that they stole from a human settlement because everyone knows magic users have a big stick. And what is an umbrella if not a big stick that will also keep the rain off? So that's how you know they're the magic user.
What is being dry in the rain if not an act of magic?
Exactly.
This is true. This is true.
Why am I the Tooth? The previous Tooth chose me. 2 types of magic I perform, and one I can actually perform. The 2 magics I perform are wound close, in that I have a bunch of something a bit like super glue, and I'm really good at stitches if I need to. Perfect to close wounds. And moment revisit. I've got a real good memory, you guys. And future sight, I actually have. You know, as you do. One thing I know but dare not tell the clan is there'll be no new goblins this summer. And 2 key relationships I have is a human child who thinks I'm wonderful, and a book full of written magic that I can't read, but I have it. Again, how do you know I'm a magic user? You see my big fuck off magic book? Exactly. Magic. But yes, that is the faces of our clan. And now we're going to each ask a question. It's described as the person to your left, but we've done it based on our turn order. So, Jeff, if you want to ask your question.
Yes, I will ask a question. Let me look at my questions, because I may want to change it now that I know. Now that I know the character that I'm asking a question to, I may change.
Now that the character is the character that they are instead of the character that they were.
Yes, I do want to ask the trap maker, how did the crew help you most recently?
I fucking love the other question, though, which, to be fair, which for the listener is, do you know any members of the crew personally or only as a group?
Well, you can answer both. Like, there's nothing stopping, like, I'm going to put both on here and you can just answer both.
Yeah, I mean, the other question was better for the other character, and this one is fun. How did the crew help you most recently? I did just imagine me adding fire breathing to the wyvern, though, which is very fun, which is not the answer to the question, because that's how I helped you.
I don't know. Is it an excuse for Rune to put something that makes fire in something? And in that way they did help? I'm sure there are other ways.
Surely there's other ways that Rune could have set things on fire. Maybe, okay, I think what happened is I got caught in one of my own traps. And y'all helped me out of it.
Incredible.
And I do like the idea that in thanks I was like, hey, I can rig up the wyvern so it can breathe real fire.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Hey, everybody, come out here. Hey, everybody, get out here. Cool. Okay, cool. Do it now.
Yeah. I have a question for you, Jeff, which is only going to make sense to you. Are the Goggle Squad just the Dark Order?
Kinda. Yes. You know what? I that wasn't the intent. But now that it's been stated outright, and that just the between you saying that and the line that I just delivered, I feel like kinda. I do think the way that the Goggle Squad enters the scene is very Dark Order, running down a hallway, all of them screaming and pumping their fists like, yeah, all right, cool, yeah, let's do this, yeah, let's go.
Thank you for clarifying to our non-wrestling watching audience who the fuck the Dark Order are. Like, I only know because I follow Mac on Tumblr and Twitter.
They're an evil cult that turned out to just be more of a bunch of good friends who are really excited. And they just have, like, a good energy, and they just have an energy of fun-loving friends.
They started out as an evil cult, and now neither of those words are correct. But they still have, like, I don't know, man. All I know, they're really good friends now.
They still wear masks and have numbers, and they're just really enthusiastic, and that's really the energy that I think the Goggle Squad is bringing, is that there's a lot of fist pumping and a lot of, like, you know, when they get fired up, they're ready to go, and they're kind of always just a little fired up.
Yeah. I love them.
I also have a pitch for what this trap could have been, because the visual is very good. What if it's like a big glue trap?
Yeah.
Like the kind, like those sort of friendly like roach motels or whatever, but designed to trap something bigger, maybe for them to catch and eat, and like maybe Rune just sort of like fell in it when finishing setting it up, and just like, well, it works.
Yeah. I love the image of Rune just covered in glue, you know, like, can y'all use the wyvern to pull me out of this? And then I'll absolutely immediately is like, okay, what do I have that I can rig up so that the wyvern can breathe real fire? 'Cause hell yes.
What if it wasn't even necessarily like, what can I like rig up in return? It was like the Goggle Squad being like, I mean, yeah, if we just like, why don't we just like dry up all the glue? We just hit it with some fire. We dry up the glue. We don't have like a fire. If the you know, that would be great. And so like it turned into this whole ordeal where like the wyverns got this jaws of life thing that they're like digging you out with, and then there's this whole thing, and they're like, if we had fire, this would be a lot easier. Somebody put fire on the notebook, and they bring out like they bring out like.
Well, I can do that. I can just do that right now if you want me to. Like. And it's like,
fire! We're gonna get fire!
Yeah.
And lift you up on their shoulders, and they're like, yeah!
I love the Goggle Squad!
Goggle Squad!
I feel like that Moles had a vision of this, which is why everything remotely flammable is somehow nowhere to be found in the vicinity of the Wacky Wyvern. Like, the dry kindling S materials have been removed.
And it's like, have you met Rune? Rune can make anything catch fire. Alright, let me ask Forkstab. You're about to get real deep. Hey, Forkstab. I know that Sam is in the middle of drawing something right now.
No, I'm listening.
Okay, I'm checking. I want to make sure that you don't lose your line. Do you think I'm worth the effort?
Yeah, of course you are.
I think you're the only person that thinks that.
I don't know, I think the Goggle Squad might be pretty much on your side now.
Yeah, we're Team Rune. Like, let that not be known. You are really, again, just leaning hard into a hard. Now that you've said it, you've unleashed Jeff's final form, and you're really the hangman of our group, of us just like lifting you on our shoulders and like carrying you around.
I was about to make that joke. Thank you. I was like, am I hangman here?
Yes, 100%.
Perfect. Yes, friend of the Goggle Squad. Hell yeah.
You're absolutely worth the effort. I love
bless.
you.
I love you too.
I had to think about it for a minute, but you're good.
I you know what? I'm not even offended.
Alright, my question to ask Malls is, what scheme can I help you pull off?
Okay, so what I'm thinking is I want a tunnel that we can use to get into the human settlement and out without being seen. Because I am sick of having to do the whole sneaky thing. Most of us are not good at that. Have you seen what Rune built? It's amazing, don't get me wrong. But that's like a liability waiting to happen. I just want a nice, tidy, quiet tunnel. Can we do that?
We can sure try. I don't know if we can do it, but we can sure try.
Thank you. Okay. It's a start.
We got a lot of cutlery. We got a lot of forks and spoons. Probably use that.
No, we're not digging with forks.
I mean, my understanding is that basically a spoon And the folk, I've seen the humans use those shit for gardening. You know, when they dig shit in their own houses.
Yeah, exactly.
What is a fork and what is a spoon if not a really small spade?
I mean, it's an us-sized spade. Perfect.
This is why you're the boss.
Yeah, I know this is why I'm the boss. It's because I got the best ideas and the shiniest buttons.
And I got the
And
sharpest
that's the only
teeth.
reason.
Don't let people tell you that, boss.
I needed photo evidence of what my face was like when the voice came out.
I hope it was good.
Oh my god.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, and my
Oh my
question
God.
for the crew: what did moles recently learn about the crew?
What did moles recently learn about the crew? Oh, I never mentioned what the one thing the crew was worried about, and I think this is exactly the secret that you learned, and this actually has worked out for the best. The secret that you've learned is that the Goggle Squad wants to form their own clan. We really, we've committed a lot to the branding of the Goggle Squad, like as a squad. Here's the thing. Really, like, the Wacky Wyvern is meant to fly. Really, it's on wheels right now. We kind of pull it with some rope, but like, we want to take to the air. We want to soar through the skies and become a band of sky pirates.
We're soaring, flying.
Incredible.
I can't.
We look at that Wacky Wyvern and we just feel like it could show us a world.
Oh my god.
God.
Alrighty, well now we have an idea about who this amazing cluster of goblins are. And really, technically you're supposed to do the map first, but we like to get an idea of who our characters are. So, the map. We have a list of things and all of us get to choose an element that we're going to put on our map. And then as a group, we're going to choose 3 things that are happening in the surrounding lands right now. Because the premise is that your Warren is like in the middle of a valley near a human settlement-ish. But the things that we can place on this map: an old castle, wizard school, a wide river, the abandoned Warren, a bear den, giant's cave, defended trade route, shipwreck cove, a lonesome inn, heretic altar, fairy woods, a distant city, witch's hut, unmoving sword, destroyed village, and ruined monument. We all get to pick one of these, but if we can put like a little marker or something for the Warren at the center of the map, Sam, and then we can determine how close or far these things are.
Draw a little hill with a hole in it. I'm the one who's drawing the map because I have an art program open already. That's why I was streaming to everybody else my art program. There we go. There's our Warren.
Does anyone have a strong feeling about any of them, like from the jump? Does anything make you go, "Oh yes"?
I really want to put down the unmoving sword.
Yes.
Then put down the
I love an
unmoving sword.
I have a thought.
Is that? Mm-hmm.
Not about the unmoving sword. So Sam can put down the unmoving sword, but I have a thought for after that.
How close is the unmoving sword to our Warren?
I think it's not far.
Can we
It's a
see
landmark
it
that we
if
use
you
to
like?
find our way home.
I love that. Like it's on the next hill.
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make a pitch about the unmoving sword?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't know how much any of this reference is going to connect, either from a cultural standpoint or from a specific pop culture standpoint. But like both in like American teen pop culture and also very popularized in the movie Dazed and Confused, there's the idea of the town water tower as the place where the kids gather.
Oh yeah. That's
I picture the unmoving sword is the water is our out by the water tower.
It's where all the young kids go to
You go
hang
out by the unmoving sword. We're gonna have a party. We're all gonna get together. It's gonna be great.
I love that. And I can see how, like, the elder goblins are like, you shouldn't do that. Adventurers go there trying to pull the sword out. You're going to get caught. Just like, yeah, but it's the cool place to go.
That's what makes it cool. It's a little dangerous.
It's like
Perfect.
a fucking water tower.
Yeah.
There we go.
Love it.
Now it's got heavenly light shining on it as well. That's how we
Beautiful.
find it. It's real easy.
I love it.
Alrighty.
I'm here for it.
So here's my thought. So I love the idea of the giant's cave, but I don't think it's a giant that lives there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we consider it a giant's cave, and I just want to play into the fact that goblins are small, and
Mhm.
obviously we know that humans are bigger than us, but there are some humans that are much larger than us. And they tend to, like, when they pass through, like, adventurers, like, passing through, they'll stay in that cave. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is, like, that's a cave where witchers sleep.
Yes, good. Yes, good.
It's where the big show lives.
It's where the big
I don't understand this
Ew.
reference.
He's, like, 7 feet tall.
He's
It's
a big
fine.
Yeah, okay.
He's the world's largest professional wrestler.
It's where
There we
Shaquille
go.
O'Neal is staying
Yeah.
right now. Because he's not on fucking AEW.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke about like, oh, so it's just really tall humans live here.
It's just a tall
Yeah.
guy.
It's not like they don't live there. It's just like it's a really
campground.
nice cave, especially when it's like raining. Yeah, that's a great place for it. It's a really nice cave, especially when it's raining, so they tend to like stay there. They like shelter there when they're like traveling, when they're just passing through. But there's always like some big dude in there, which is why it's a
Mhm.
giant's cave. It's never the same. It's never the same big dude 2 times in a row.
Mhm.
I
like
I
that.
love the idea that, like, in video game terms, that this cave is just like a save point. Like,
It's
it's
a
just
save
like,
point,
you
yeah.
go there and
Yes.
you rest. It's like a convenient spot on the way to something further away, and it's just like that's where they stay. And generally adventuring parties just have a big guy with them.
Yeah, because I know part of the thing is that there's meant to be a human settlement nearby. I like the thought of people like opting to stay in the giant cave either because the human settlement is very small, or they're the kind of people that people don't want staying at their inns. I'm thinking about like how like witches often get treated and stuff like that.
I was
Yeah,
just
I like
thinking
that.
like it's a campground, so I'm drawing like old
That's
bottles
beautiful.
laying around and like
Yeah.
Incredible.
an old fire pit with burnt out ashes in it.
I have what I want to add in. So that gives me exactly what I want to add in around the Giant's Cave, and I kind of want it to be somewhere in kind of the like same. So what I'm thinking is like on one of the corners of the map, right? Like maybe it is. Let me look at the. Maybe it's on like the bottom left corner of the map. Is I threw out the phrase I threw out that I really connect with is like it's that this cave is a spot in the middle of like the route to, and I say this kind of a little eye-rollingly, but like an adventuring site. Like again, like thinking of it in kind of video gamey terms, like if it's like a dungeon raid, like this is a spot on the way to a dungeon raid. So let's go full on and pick an old castle.
I love the idea that we just exist in a video game,
Mm-hmm.
and that we're just like sometimes like goblins will like creep out and like sometimes Rune will set traps that the adventurers will have to dodge, and that's like the closest you ever come to seeing a goblin in this part of the world. But we just live in a video game now. That's what this world is. It's a video game world.
I love it, and I love that. Yeah, I love that. Like, it almost to me feels like feels like our Warren is the best I can describe it in the like the best I could think about it is like, to your point, we are what would be traditionally in a video game considered behind an invisible wall. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's the
Yes.
row of trees on the path that you can't actually walk into that section of the wood, and that's kind of
We're
where
out of
our
bounds.
Warren is. And periodically, like, some traps get set up, but, like, for the most part, it's like, well, that's not on the path. There's the cave, and then the castle, and you go on that path.
I love the idea that like, and in that regard, like the wacky wyvern is like it's like a thing that like adventurers can like grind
Mhm.
for experience points, and it
They
turns
just
out
go-
it's not actually a fucking wyvern. It's a goblin run. It's
And they
so funny to me.
And that just gives the idea that, like, we've done it to scare people, but adventurers will be like, all right, we're going to fight this thing. But now, knowing what I know about the Goggle Squad, their response to adventurers being like, cracking their knuckles and cracking their neck and being like, we're going to fight this wyvern, is like, oh yeah, they're going to fight the wyvern. This is going to be great. Everybody, we're going to get to try out the fire. Everybody get the fire ready.
I love that so much. And
It's
like
so
This is
good.
very good.
and it like they keep having to level up the wyvern, like you know how like in The Incredibles, Syndrome is always like adjusting the Omnidroid to
Mhm.
be better at tackling superheroes. Like maybe one of the wings gets ripped off by a successful adventurer, just like, okay, we got to reinforce the
think it-
wings.
It happens all the time. The wyvern does not do good in the fight, but every
No,
time
no.
they're like, cool. We got a lot of great learnings, a lot of great
Lot of
lessons.
feedback.
The notebook comes out. It's like, all right, everybody, quick production meeting. What notes do we have for everyone today?
Put it on the whiteboard, and there's just like a tall stone somewhere in the warren that's just covered in like
Yes.
notes that are only understandable to the Goggle Squad, and they're like, put it on the board, get it, all right,
Rose-
cool.
Fucking perfect.
Rogues who pass by thinks it's like thieves' cant, and it's like, but it's no dialect I've ever seen before, and it's like, nah, it's fucking goblins doing basketball plays.
Yeah. See, like if we all came out. We're all wearing our scary costumes. We come out and we all scream behind the wyvern. They're gonna be like, "Oh no, the wyvern's got a posse now." That's gonna add a lot of skill. It's really pro strat.
So it's like this Twitter feed of raid diagrams that look like shit posts.
Yes.
Exactly.
Let's put the fucking incredible. Let's put the human settlement sort of in the bottom center. Like maybe if that castle is occupied, or maybe it used to support the castle when a lord
Mhm.
actually lived there, or maybe somebody still does. But if we, so directly like south of the Warren, if we put our human settlement,
Yes.
and I'm going to pick. For the fun and because I like the inherent shit that it might cause, and given that we are in a video game, I like what do we like more, Heretic Altar or Fairy Woods for shit that can kick off? Because I like both. Fairy Woods?
I like Fairy Woods.
Fairy Woods. That was my first instinct.
I
Let's
was
put that
thinking about Fairy Woods myself.
Let's put that directly north of the Warren, because I like the thought that the road maybe skims past the front of it, because you do not take a road through a fairy wood.
I love that, and
Yeah,
I
there's
kind of
the road.
I have a pitch related to that.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of love the idea that, like, gang, we've had a lot of fun here today. I love the idea that, like, there's all this kind of like silliness and like we like as a Warren like are pretty comfortable together, but like the fairy wood is not a joke, right? Like it's like it's
100% not.
it's like we that is this, it is a thing that, like, for all of the kind of like wacky escapades that we get into when the Fey Wood is discussed, like that kind of like serious hush kind of falls over things. Like, oh, okay, yeah, we got to talk about the Fairy Wood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
that maybe the tooth is like Balls is one of the few people ballsy enough because of being magic who will maybe go anywhere near it.
Hello? Hi.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
yes. Sorry, yes.
What do you think we've been working towards?
But yeah, I was going to say, I really like the note, like, ostensibly, Moles is the one that's meant to go there because you
Mhm.
don't fuck with the fairy wood, but then there is Rune, who
Is an
feels the
idiot?
rules don't apply to him. Yeah, if you wish. The Goggle Squad, who have got plans, and Forkstab, who, you know, is Forkstab about it.
Yeah.
But I like the notion that maybe, and you can feel free to dismiss this, Jeff, but the notion that the Goggle Squad maybe want to see about finding a fairy that can turn the wyvern into a real wyvern.
Oh, I love that. That's really good.
Like a version of the praying to Aphrodite to turn your statue into a woman. But it's just like, please turn our wacky machine into a real wyvern because we love them. And that's just very good.
This is what all of the improvements have been working towards. And
It's-
I was
if we make it cool enough.
yeah.
Oh, God, all I can think of right now is the fucking plane they make in Chicken Run out of one of the one of the fucking chicken coops. It's like fucking upside down chicken coop fucking aircraft that flies that's pedal powered, and I'm living, quite frankly.
I like the idea that like the fairy wood kind of wraps around the back of the like magical sword. So like
Yeah.
adventurers
Yeah.
approach it from the fairy wood, and we don't.
Yeah, I just saw that your drawing edging closer, and I'm like, that's so fucking good. I do also. I kind of like the thought that like Rune is one of the only goblins who's like gone into the fairy wood and come back out again with only like a fucked up silver leg to show for it.
You're showing
Like-
your hand. You're showing who you're playing.
It's obvious from the moment I say trash asshole for anyone who's paying attention.
That's fair.
I
But,
like the thought that maybe that's why Rune is looked down on or seen as is a bit of an outsider as
Yeah.
well. Just like everyone's like,
Mhm.
Rune is really weird. They haven't been the same since they came back from the woods with that metal leg or silver leg.
Yeah.
Just like a vibe.
Yeah. Also because goblins like don't tend to come back. That's why it's like this is shit that we take seriously. And like
Yeah.
or if they do come back, they're like irrevocably changed. Like Rune is
They're not
exactly
the same people.
Yeah, but Rune is pretty much exactly the same.
I like that.
But people are a little worried about it.
I really like that. Alrighty, and we now need 3 things that are happening in the surrounding lands. And Mac, you had a thing or two you liked that you wanted to pitch?
I have a couple of things that I like, because I am the person that I am. One of them is a paladin swears a new oath, which is the one I think I'm going to lean towards. That's the one that I want to pick, personally.
We have to put that on the map somehow, right?
Sort of. It's just sort of a thing that's going on. If there's like a paladin it could be in the settlement or whatever. It's just in the area.
Yeah.
So.
This is a thing that has happened.
Or is about to happen.
Or is about to happen. And that may not necessarily, like, show up on screen, but, like, you know, things change in the world when gods get followers.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that that I am suggesting, I am throwing into the world, is a new star rises.
Interesting.
That's fun.
That one you can take or leave, because everyone else gets to think about the things that they want. But I want a paladin swears a new oath.
Yeah, let's leave Star Rises sort of on the side in case.
Yeah.
Jeff, any of these?
I have something on my character sheet that like I immediately I saw an item on what's happening nearby and filled out way too much in the back of my head. So I do have something specific that I want to pitch.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Catch us up.
The thing that I want to pitch that is happening nearby is that a kobold mine has collapsed. And the aesthetic that I want to give these because I have on one of my relationships is with a kobold crew that we are on good terms with.
Yes. Yes.
And so immediately I have given this kobold crew a great deal of character and an aesthetic and character and a relationship with my crew.
Hell yes.
Oh, 100%. Let's go.
We'll play
do
that
it.
in a bit. It'll be great.
I sat quietly and then went, cool, I've written way too much. All right, great.
No, it's
Um,
good.
Like that sometimes.
Where are
So
they
I-
on the map, do you think? The mine?
They are. I think the kobold mine is probably like behind the giant cave. Like it's like a series of foothills, right? Like it's somewhere. It's like a series of hills, and like they are the hills that like or kobold crews have been mining.
What are they mining?
I think they're mining. Let's go with haunted ore, ghost ore.
Spooky. Love it.
Love that.
And I think like the aesthetic that I've given this crew in my head, the relationship that my crew has with the kobold crew, is like they're giving me the actual like construction materials, or they're giving us the construction materials for the wyvern, right? Like, and the aesthetic that I've given these kobold crews in my head is 50s mining crews, 50s mining towns.
Yes.
So one of these
Yes.
has collapsed. The crew is their mine is collapsed. They are kind of like And it's because in my head it is a moment of like of a little bit of a moment of vulnerability of the Goggle Squad is like, these are our friends, they've been hooking us up and now they're kind of out of work, right? Like their mind, like one of these minds has collapsed and it was the one that they were working in. So it's like our buddies that we've been drinking ale with and kind of partying with, this gang of like denim clad hard-working kobolds is kind of like they don't know what they're gonna do next, and it's this element of vulnerability.
There's also like a real worry and risk that another mine is going to collapse, and maybe this time with one of them inside.
Yeah,
good shit.
If it kind of is shown that their mine, that like the things they thought they were doing to secure the mines maybe haven't been done either properly, or like there are threats, or like, you know, ghost ore is scary, right? Like it is haunted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's very
Metal's
cool.
haunted. And also,
Mine's haunted. Cock's gun.
Yep, thank you,
Cock's
Mac.
gun. Cock's gun. Metal's haunted.
Metal's haunted. I got you.
Yes.
Mac, you threw out a pitch in the chat that I want you to throw out because I think it's also very good.
I was thinking, because you know the hills are so close to the Giant's Cave, and one of the things that I was the way that I pitched it was, if you went deep enough into the Giant's Cave, would you stumble upon the Kobold mines? And the way that I was thinking about it was, one of the Kobold mines is like in the back side of the hill that the cave is in. So they're mining from one direction, and the Giant's Cave is going in the other direction.
I like that. I really love that.
Great.
I love
great.
it. I love that a ton.
I do also just love the image of these fucking kobolds just bursting out, and there's a fucking witcher sleeping on the ground. And I know I keep referencing witchers, and there's not witchers in this world, maybe? I don't know.
Well, there could be. Well, this is funny because I was going to pitch as our thing happening in the surrounding lands. If a mine has collapsed and there's witches around, what if a beast is lurking?
We had to have a beast lurking. I looked at that and I was like, there's always a beast lurking in these fucking game
The
shits.
kobolds, they dug too deep.
They dug too deep.
The Fortnite event.
I want to put something down here in this corner because there's nothing here.
What about a big well, a lake, a pond?
Oh
Some
yeah,
kind of body of
pond
water?
is a good idea.
Yeah, having
Ooh.
water nearby is good. Is good, I think.
Ooh, what if underwater caves?
Ooh.
Underwater
caves are
caves.
cool.
What if the beast that's lurking is
In the
messy?
water. Oh, I was going to say that.
I just fucking see you. I fucking see you.
I mean, maybe I like the thought that maybe nobody's actually sure, but something has been seen in the lake, and maybe it's a new project for the Goggle Squad. Who knows? But there's definitely something lurking in the lake.
We would like to formally declare that we did not try Wacky Wyvern 2, that we did not try the Wacky Water Wyvern. That project is theoretical only. Let that be stated outright.
Fucking incredible.
This is not us.
Mhm. Okay, let's rattle through these setting elements. There's a bunch of setting elements that each of us will take turns playing in scenes when we're not playing our goblins to give shade and colour to the world. We'll take turns reading these descriptions, and then each of these elements have 2 desires that we'll pick as a group. I'll read the first one, then we'll pass to Jeff and round the circle. So the clan, your warren mate, your caregiver, the goblin who used your sleeve as a handkerchief that one time and never apologized for it. All these goblins and more look to you for guidance and assistance, whether you can provide it or not. And the desires we can pick from for the clan are stories, royal food, shiny swords, new friends, artworks, new lands, rare and fun pets, or direction.
Love it. Okay.
So which 2 do we want? Or does anyone have one of those that makes them go, ooh, yes, this? I always like stories because I'm a sucker for that kind of thing, but I'm open to suggestions.
There's the one that jumps out to me, and I'm throwing it out for the exact same reason, Jade. Like, the thing that jumps out to me is new friends, especially given kind of how playful we've been playing this clan, but like, I'm open to whatever.
I like both of those. I think they work.
I think it works too. I like it.
Yeah, and also with moles knowing that there's going to be no new goblins in the summer, given how much this clan craves new friends, is very good and sad.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
stories and new friends.
Perfect.
I think that really works for what we've established already. I fucking love
Absolutely.
these goblins already. Can we just
And-
play goblins forever?
And really what that tells me together, what those desires tell me together, is like kind of in the line of like the opening of the game, right? The goblins create like the goblin craves adventure is like we're just a bunch of goblins that are looking for like a fun story to tell the people that we care about, and like that's kind of why we're doing the things we're doing, is because we want to be able, like, you want to be the person like at the party around the sword that's like, hey everybody, gather around, I got something cool to tell you.
Incredible.
I like that of all of this, the shittiest looking part is the human town.
Yeah, it really do be like that sometimes.
Which is great, as that's the next element. So, Jeff, if you would.
Yeah. They have a habit of building silly castles on perfectly nice hills, and most of them are far too serious. They view you as a nuisance at best and something worst, something to be hunted down. Their desires are family, legacy, fertile land, ostentatious castles, honor and glory, to be left alone, shiny golden money, and to look cool.
Shiny golden money sounds like humans to me.
Yeah.
And that might be fair. If they have witches coming through, I keep coming back to our video game vibes.
Yeah.
Shiny, also just like to be left alone, just showing up at this village, just like, ugh, yeah, the castle's that way. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
It's right across the road.
But yeah, that arguably money and to be left alone don't necessarily sit neatly together.
That's true.
But-
Maybe we can nix money if these are different types of humans than the ones who would be the money ones. Maybe
If we're thinking specifically about this particular human settlement, then maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
and there's something worth noting, is that the next setting element is the warriors, which is sort of the adventuring sorts. So like there's an opportunity to kind of be like, this is the people in the settlement, and this is the people wandering to the castle, and the witchers.
Yeah. They're just fucking witchers now, I guess. Damn it.
Yeah. How about fertile land? I like the thought that maybe the space between the village and the warren is a bunch of like small like allotment kind of vibes.
like farms.
Yeah, like little like a small holding kind of a vibe.
Because that's exactly what I was about to start drawing before you started saying that.
Fuck yes.
I was just going to start drawing like farm fields.
But yeah, like I like the thought that there's maybe fish in that decent sized lake, and they grow their own produce, and goblins are always stealing their shit. It's like periodically like stealing like leafy green vegetables, just like, I don't like this. You're just like, you're gonna get scurvy. Eat the fucking lettuce.
You gotta eat your veggies.
Oh my god, Sam, I just saw the paladin!
It's very good.
Wait, where's the paladin?
There he is.
Where's the? I can't see him. Where am I looking?
He's just to the right of the human town.
I just
Oh my
circled him.
god! Is that what that is? Jesus Christ, Sam! Fucking incredible.
Look, I wrote
I need
paladin
you,
next to it so you
Sam.
can tell.
That's
Sam, I
incredible.
need you to fucking take a screenshot of that shit and put it on Twitter, no context.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank
so
you. Anyway,
what about? Do we want the human settlement to sort of reflect the goblins then, and to have it be family? Because we've actually got quite a wholesome, nice vibe going on.
I like that. I do like that.
that's nice. I like that a lot.
So so that it's a community that care about each other and like raising their families and growing their vegetables and directing lost adventurers to a castle they can't seem to find on a map, despite the fact that it's right there. I don't understand why you keep
It's
having
the
these
giant
problems.
Castlevania-looking castle on a hill. The moon sits behind it every night.
Literally, you turn to look at it and lightning strikes the steeple. You can't miss it.
Just stand where you're standing and turn, and when you see lightning crack and you see a castle outlined by a blood red moon, that's
There's
the
a
one.
fucking music cue. You can't miss it. And the adventurer's like, "Oh, I'm deaf," and it's like, "I'm sorry that I assumed that you could hear. It's okay.
Just look over there.
Just look over there."
Use a sign language and just gently. Very good. Okay, Mac, next up.
Next up, the warriors. There are those in every culture that can't help but heed the call of adventure and strike out on quests. They loudly call themselves heroes, warriors, adventurers. Most goblins simply call them a nuisance. Circle 2 desires: the glory of adventure, stolen treasure, information and lore, the smell of fear, to be respected and praised, friends and allies in many places, a soft bed, good boots. I fucking love good boots. I don't think it fits, but it's so funny.
It's so good.
I mean, I've got a pitch that the glory of adventure and good boots as a pair is very fun.
That
It's
is
very
very fun.
fun.
I like that.
My Discworld loving ass is all about good boots.
Here's
That's
what
true.
good boots tells me. If I can throw out some
Please.
warrior lore related to good boots,
Hell
Yes,
yes.
absolutely.
and also the glory of adventure. Like what good boots tells me, what the glory of adventure tells me, that the pop culture reference is often in my head, is the business card scene from American Psycho of like, oh wow, that person's like adventuring outfit is so perfectly tailored, and it's like, you know, you go on the adventure, you get the money, and you just put it into like, look at my beautiful wrist gauntlet that I'm wearing, like look at this perfectly prim.
Is that not fucking every, like, MMO, though?
I was about to say, so that's just the high level content in every MMO.
Yeah,
Because
it's just,
Once you get to the level cap, it's all just about looking cool.
It's all about fucking looking incredible. I say as a Destiny player, Sam as a Guild Wars player. You
It's
just
true.
hit for fashion.
I also really like the notion that goblins and the human settlement alike immediately make judgments on how practical the boots are. Just like, those are good boots.
Yes.
Like, you can tell what kind of adventure it is by what kind of boots they're wearing. Like, good boots, they'll take you far.
Mm.
those boots are all style. That's all. That's like, look at the soles of them. They're not gonna
That
like,
person's got high heels. They're never gonna get anywhere.
you're not gonna walk through. You're not gonna walk. You're gonna step in some mud, and then you're gonna be up to your knee, and then
You're gonna fucking break one of those heels on your way up the steps to that castle, and then where are you gonna be?
Then where are you gonna be? Where are you gonna be? Where are you
Broken
gonna be?
neck is where they're gonna be. They're gonna fall down on their ass, and it'll serve them right for wearing those boots.
They're gonna be back on their way to the human town within seconds with those heels.
Now what if what if though, if we hollowed out the back of the heel, we could probably create like a support thing.
Put a knife in
there. Then they
Put
could
a
just
knife in there.
we could put a knife in there. You could build it. You could build sort of a cushion thing where they could fall from a very high height, land on their feet, and they could be fine. Okay, all right. Everybody,
That's an interesting thought. Thank you, crew. Thank you.
That's just portal boots. We're literally just talking about making portal boots.
let's go. Everybody to the rock. We're gonna go to the rock. We'll be back. We're going to the rock.
All right,
We're going to
all
the
right.
rock.
We'll see you
Right,
later.
guys,
Good.
I have to say, for all our video game references, I cannot wait to see the Aardman animation tackle this goblin guy with their Wallace and Gromit-esque wacky wyvern. I just want to see this in claymation so bad.
That's amazing.
So good.
I love this
Okay.
map too. Like, this is actually I feel like probably one of the best maps I've ever drawn.
This is great.
It's
I
beautiful.
love this.
It's gorgeous. It's incredible.
All right, Sam, next setting element.
the kobold. Oh wait, no, the
No,
wild.
the
The
wilds.
wilds. I missed one. Sorry.
No, you're good.
No matter how you look at the food chain, goblins wind up near the bottom. Very little actually eats them, but anything from a raging tyrannosaur to a strong wind can pose a serious threat to them. So the possible desires are warm, runny meat, gross,
I hate that.
a protected den, the thrill of the hunt, intruders out of their territory, simply to exist, rich soil and flowing water, unfamiliar smells, and safety for their babies. I really like rich soil and flowing water.
Yeah,
Me too.
same. I also really like either simply to exist or safety for their babies.
I like safety for their babies.
I like safety for their babies.
I like to consider them as like I like to consider beasts like this as like they're just trying to fucking exist, y'all.
And again, I like that we've got this reflection of what the goblins want versus what the humans want versus what the wilds want. And just like everyone's kind of the same, just in different way. It manifests differently.
It's just the adventurers. It's just the adventurers.
It's these fucks. All right. Here's a fun one, given what we've been talking about so far, the kobolds. Goblins are not the only small folk who live in the valley. The kobolds, industrious little lizard folk, often end up in petty squabbles with their goblin kind neighbours are over all manner of things. Some of them serve mighty dragons or fiends from beyond, but in temperament and strength, the average kobold is very similar to a goblin. And their desires could be raw magic, big buildings, expanding their fortresses or mines to be very high up, fire, to escape servitude, sturdy tools, or friendship. Oh,
I have
Friendship.
a very, very important question about the kobolds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are their accents Midwestern or are they Appalachian?
I'm gonna do the most Jeff Stormer thing that I can possibly do in this moment.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say I think it's I would like to imagine that it's both.
Yeah.
That like
Yes!
that like it depends on the kobold, but it's like a mix of Appalachian and Midwestern.
I was also going to pitch that there be some like fucking Northern England style
Yeah.
mining voices
Yeah,
so I could do
It's-
a voice. So yes.
I love it. I'm here for it.
To be fair, Appalachian is very similar to like old time. It's like in some ways, in some pronunciations, pretty similar to Northern England.
Mhm.
Incredible. Well, then
Yeah.
we'll see how that shakes out. Fucking yes.
I'm just
And
like,
now-
if we're New Jersey, then what are the kobolds?
I love this.
Fair.
Also,
love it.
if
I'm
they're
here for it.
kobolds, have they not also been collected under the flag of the, King of all goblins, etc.?
Probably at this point.
Yeah.
Meh. Oh, yeah, we can find out.
We'll find
Try to
out.
find out what happens.
We're also fucking New Jersey, so like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's chill.
Well, given that we've been talking about, do we want to go with expanding their fortresses? But I'll make that mine.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
And
That's good.
are they after friendship too?
Yes. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Please.
Yeah.
This is a good and wholesome game now.
There's and I want to kind of make it like not a full-on desire, but like rather just like a story that is happening to the side that kind of ties into sort of this is Jeff peeling back the curtain a little bit. I'm getting a strong sense of like blue collar camaraderie through all of this. So like I want to maybe throw out like not a full on desire, because I think that the two desires that we've added are perfect. Maybe it's even like a desire that has just happened, but like the idea of there being specifically a kobold union, like unionizing
I
uprising.
was about to say, are
I was
they gonna
gonna
fucking
say.
unionize?
Like they've unionized, and like there is it has either just happened or like it is in the midst of happening just to the side of our little like goblin crew. So like we're just getting updates of like, yeah, we formed a union. It's great. We're coming together. This mind collapse. It was the thing that started it. We're getting into this. Bruce has got a guitar and he's playing a song about it. It's great.
I fucking love this.
Pitch. What if they turfed out the dragon that was there? They
I love it.
unionized and got rid of the dragon.
Unionized against a dragon is very funny, and that was exactly where my head was. Yes.
I love them so much. Oh my god. I'm
Perfect.
tweeting this also. The kobolds have unionized.
Very good.
We
Love
got
out
we
of
got 'em.
context game tweets.
Bruce
All right.
Bruce Springsteen Kobold has got a whole album about it. It's great.
Just imagining like a little kobold tail sticking out the pair of her back of jeans. It just
Yeah.
it's very and like a little hard hat with like little cutouts for the horns. This is precious and good. All right, next element. Jeff.
The gods. Goblins don't take well to gods. They'd much rather worship the rain than a shouty tall person. But goblin gods do exist, and every now and then they make their presence known in subtle or bombastic ways. And their desires are worship, competition, splendor, recognition from goblin, vast and unknowable agendas, goblin kind to feel safe, to cast down their rivals, or lavish festivals.
I am who I am, and I would very much like vast and unknowable agendas.
Mm-hmm. The notion of like a goblin god having a vast and unknowable agenda is so good.
It's extremely funny.
I also think that sometimes, like, we go past the giant's cave and we don't know it, but there's just a fucking god sleeping in there.
They're just vibing. They're just chilling.
They're just
Don't worry
vibing.
about it.
Sometimes
They're
you
just
gotta vibe.
vibing.
Do we think that given how much our clan is all about like friendship and stuff, do they want us to have big parties? Is it just an excuse to get everybody round to drink and
I think so.
celebrate?
That feels right.
Yeah.
That does feel right.
We all love a festival. I've watched too many video essays on Into the Woods recently, so now I wish to go to the festival in my head. I'm just like,
That ties in really nicely with our clan's desires. If it's stories and friends, if it's parties that are just like elaborate like competition storytelling experiences.
Oh, I love the notion that just like occasionally a human bard will show up, and if they tell a decent story, we let them stay. Just
Yeah, all right.
okay, fine.
That does beg the question of where do they stay?
outside. They can have a tent.
Okay.
We'll get a tarp.
We got a dark!
We got a nice tarp, you know. Keep the rain out.
You can rent it for a shitload of gold.
Honestly, we spent a long time trying to devise sort of like an auto tent situation. Like we put I'm not going to say we put a lot of energy into it, but we put a tremendous, unbelievable amount of energy into it. The result of that energy is that tarp. It's just laying flat on the ground. It's about where we got. If I'm being honest, it's not our best work, but you know, it's about failing faster and getting back to the next project. Is what it is.
Yeah, fail forward.
We're failing forward. It's about quick iterations. Really, like we're a culture of innovation.
Yeah, it's like one, fail, do better.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta trust. We trust the process here. Is what
Trust
happened.
in the process.
We trust the process.
1 fail, 2 question marks, 3 profit. Yeah.
Okay, so we have made our map. We've introduced our characters. We have our setting elements in play. Let's go through our lures, maybe take a 2-minute break or however long people want, and then we'll get into scenes and people can think about maybe what they want to do. But yeah, let's quickly go through our lures so the listeners and each other know what they are.
Okay. When someone brings me a task that only the crew could accomplish, they gain a token.
Lore, when someone helps you create a tool or a trap, they get a token.
My lure is when someone follows one of my plans, they gain a token.
And when someone asks for my insight into a problem, they will gain a token. All right. Do we want to... So any other NPCs we need to know? Because we all have these, and this might be a fun thing that leads to a scene. We all have these key relationships, and some of them might end up being with each other. So we already know about the Kobold crew, that the Goggle Squad are friends with. Who do we think the goblin they're training in combat is?
I mean,
if you don't have a... Mm-hmm.
I actually have a thought, and I think that it's now that they've given us fire, we're kind of showing, we're like, well, okay, hold on. There's a lot of possibilities that come from Rune being friends with the Goggle Squad. And I think it's partially us training Rune in combat and partially like trying to like come up with a playbook of like, here's how the Wyvern can play into traps, and we're like, purely for our own amusement, we're building like a playbook of like trap combat of like, here's how we can do this. If we put him in a glue trap, the Wyvern comes in, shoots fire, but that's gonna dry up the glue. That's no good.
Well, we can always swap it out for something else that won't dry up the glue, right? Like we're not limited to just fire.
Maybe acid. That's gonna dissolve
No, maybe not necessarily. Now we have to come up with I can come up with a different formula for the glue that will make it so that it's immune to acid.
Okay. We
could have acidic glue.
Put it on the board. And then grab a chisel and like...
Rune has their own notebook that they're taking notes in.
I think Stilts is a member of the Goggle Squad, called that because she is very tall. She is comparatively taller than the other, and Stilts' primary role in the Goggle Squad is when we need to put things on the board. People sit on Stilts' shoulders and she lifts them up, and then we chisel on this large rock and occasionally scratch things out. But she's really in charge. We've sort of given her the board as sort of her purview. She kind of manages the logistics of the board.
Yeah.
Yes. So good.
So good.
Okay. Rune. So we've talked about, in case it didn't end up on mic, your sister and who got caught in your first trap.
Yeah. So yeah, Rune has a sister. Their sister's name is Soap, because it really do be like that sometimes. She is very tiny and very cute, because I want her to be. She is, yeah, everybody just likes her.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Someone who got caught in my first trap. Probably, and it's probably, like, my first, like, very bad trap, like, before I even made the glue sticky enough.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, I only got... Oh, can that be malls, actually? That's very funny.
Absolutely.
Where it's just like, oh, I just got, like, glue on my shoe. And it's like, damn it.
I love it. Just like, and I feel like Mole steps in this trap or whatever, and it's just like, look, goes to move their foot, and it's just like, Rune, was this you?
Will it make you feel better if I say no?
No, Rune, it will not make me feel better, because that means there's more than one of you doing this.
No, it was not me.
Squints at you,
Wait.
grimaces a little bit, and you see just how sharp, like, all the goblins have probably got, like, kind of sharp teeth. Moles are upsettingly sharp.
I also love the idea that Malls didn't see this one coming.
Mm-hmm. That's part of why they're pissed. Absolutely. It's like, God's help me. Okay. Rune, you owe me a new shoe. And I just step out of my shoe and hop slightly off to one side. I do not want that shoe cleaned. I want a new shoe.
God damn it. You fucking called me out, Jade.
I know your shit. I saw that you were going to say something smart. I see you, Rune.
Rune's just still grinning the whole time this is happening. And they do get Malls a new shoe.
I know where you sleep. And walks off. Fucking perfect.
That's the scariest thing that anyone's ever said to me.
All right. Sam, who are these key relationships?
All right.
They don't have to be with PCs.
Yeah.
No.
Just keep doing that.
We each have 2 key relationships, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I figure, like, one can be with somebody else and one can be with, it's like my apprentices
Sure.
can be NPCs. I think
Yeah.
I don't have names for them yet, but I'll come up with them. Don't worry. And my second in command, I think the reason why I think that the trap maker Rune is worth it is because God help us all. Actually, maybe not.
No, that's incredible. No, that's great.
I was gonna say God help us
That's
all.
so
Rune is my
funny.
second in command, but I was like, maybe Malls would be a better choice for a second in command.
That's up to fucking Fork Stab.
I was gonna say, I think, like, as the quote religious / magic person, Mold is outside of the chain of command for a reason.
Okay.
She's like, no, I can't be a chain of command. I'm the tooth. That's what I do.
Sounds good to me.
Why not ask Rune to do it?
You know what? That's a terrible idea, and I'm gonna do it.
I have seen it, and it will work out for you. I have seen it. You know I have.
All right, then. Well, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. Let's go. Hey, Rune. You're the new,
Yeah?
vice boss. Second in command.
Why is anybody giving me Varun, directly into the camera. No one should ever give me
It'll
responsibility.
be good for you. You'll learn something.
I can learn something not being vice boss, though.
You'll learn how to take responsibility.
Gross.
Sam,
Yes.
I have a pitch for you for the name of your apprentices, because it's dumb as fuck.
Excellent.
You know how your name is Forkstab? What if all your apprentices are named after different types of spoons?
Excellent.
Like tea and table and dessert and maybe ladle
I love this.
and soup.
I love this. This is incredible.
Sugar.
Yeah, sugar. Yeah.
My apprentices, the
Sugar.
spoon children.
Is there a spork?
Yes, there has to be Spork. There's just a
There's
goblin
gotta
called
be a
Spork. There's just a goblin called Spork. Maybe that's not an apprentice, just is there. Because Spork is an incredible name for a goblin.
Spork is ironically a member of the Goggle Squad.
Yes!
He's very good at digging. We haven't actually really found a lot of use for digging. Like, it's not really like a central, really been
We're
central
not
to any of our
kobolds.
products yet.
That's why
But like, he's got the skill, and frankly, like, we would love to put it to use. It just The
Hasn't
opportunity
happened.
has not come about yet.
Well, it's great because Moles has got a scheme for him. Perfect. Gonna get my goddamn tunnel. Okay, and Mole's two relationships are a human child who thinks I'm wonderful, and I was wondering, Sam or Mac, do you want to volunteer a kid version of one of your PCs to
You
be?
know it. You
I would be
know
happy
it.
to, but
Is
I
it
think
Meryl?
Matt got there first.
Lol. We can have. There can be two.
Meryl and Joe.
Yeah, I was literally just about to be like Scooby Gang.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Scooby
Cool. So
Gang.
So Meryl and Joe, these two kids at the human settlement. And my other relationship is obviously a book full of written magic I can't read. But hey, Jeff, how do you want to be the voice of a magic book?
I would love to be the voice of a magic book.
I will let you voice that however you want. But like,
Okay.
maybe I found the book somewhere in the fairy woods or whatever and picked it up and it just spoke to me. And I was like, oh, well, shit. And just has conversations with the book, but can't tell Moles what the inside. I can't read, like, the book can't read itself, so I can't help them read it. It just happens to be a sentient book.
Can I pitch something to you here, Jade?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking about it, and I think that it would be very funny if a rune can read the book, but no one has bothered to ask them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's hilarious. It's hilarious and good, and I'm here for it.
And it might be a consequence of going into the fairywood.
Mm. Oh, I love that. Like something else they came back with.
Yeah, something else that they came back with, and I don't think that they necessarily know it, and no one's bothered to ask them because why would anybody ask them?
I
that?
feel like people can. As far as like most, we can speak and write Goblin,
Yeah,
and like Molds is no exception to that.
yeah. And I really just want Rune to pick up that book and use it as a weapon at some point. It'd be very funny.
Oh, let me be clear. This book is about the size of a goblin. This is one of those big ass tomes kind of vibe that like gets put out on a table to read.
Oh, it's a coffee table.
It's a good
book.
thing that we're clarifying this straight up now, because the last time we didn't clarify the size of a book, it became an issue.
Yeah, no, I'm being clear. This book is like one of those hefty like tomes that you might see at like the one of the libraries that like it's big, or like some of those awesome, beautiful like holy books you see that are done super big, like that shit. It's a big ass book.
Big ass book.
Big ass book. And I like the thought that maybe Moles had to be convinced to bring this book back because it's so big. It's just like,
Yeah.
I gotta carry you all the way back. Do you know how far the Warren is from here? Oh my god.
Doom! Carry me on your back! Doom!
Will you stop saying doomed if I carry you?
Yes! Yes! A deal! Deal!
Were we fucking playing fucking Muppet Christmas Carol, the book?
But yeah, so the book gets brought back and it starts right that pops the umbrella up over the two so the book doesn't get wet and just sort of like
Dry! Dry!
I do hear you the first time. You do not have to. Do you have to repeat everything you say, or is that like an affectation for you?
Mostly an affectation! I think it sounds cool!
Oh, buddy, you and I are going to have some conversations about what or not is not cool. But that's fine. You know what? You do you. Who am I to tell you how to live your life?
Plans! Plans!
Okay, buddy. You got it. Plans. I am so fucking happy with what is happening in this game.
So good.
All right. So we have our loosely NPCs. Does anyone have an idea for a scene they want to do? Let's jump in.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
And this is right. So we have Mole's idea about getting a tunnel dug to the human settlement. We've got this paladin making an oath in the area.
The poor kobold miners.
The poor kobold miners, and we've got the lurking beast.
What's most interesting to me?
I was going to say, technically, we should be picking on you to do the first scene anyway, Jeff, as per our bylaws.
I think the thing that's most interesting to me is this the paladin's oath or the lurking beast. I think actually those are kind of the things that jump out to me. The other thing that I want to put out onto the table is we have just the general idea of the fairy wood of I don't know that I have a scene for it, but I want to make sure we keep that kind of presence in the back of our minds.
Mm.
So maybe it is I think I want to know the question that I want to throw out to kind of frame a scene is how is this paladin's oath, how has it made its way back to our warren? How has it kind of rippled back to where we are and our little community?
I mean, is it this paladin was by the unmoving stone to make that, this is a sword from legend, and there's this people say I was planning on going up to the sword, but there's a human there. He's been there for 3 days praying.
I'm gonna pick up the warriors here. As this. I feel like this paladin is one of these warrior types.
Mm-hmm.
I moved him.
I appreciate that with that perspective shift, that sword is now Cloud Strife levels of big, and I'm here for it.
I also appreciate there's 2 separate sunbeams right now hitting the sword and the
and they're
paladin.
coming from different directions.
From 2 different directions.
There are 2 suns in this
That's
world.
fine. Don't worry about it.
Yes!
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, then you know what? We're gonna start a scene big.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask each of us. I want to ask each of us, and we can use this as an opportunity to make some moves, or just kind of describe what we're doing, where we are. I think for whatever reason, and I might even throw it to the group, what is the reason that we're all near or hanging around the sword when at the top of the hill, I make a move off of this warrior sheet that is very specifically draw a sword or wand?
Oh my god.
What happens when we see this sword get drawn?
What if there is a legit, heavenly choir and a burst of sun on an otherwise, shitty rainy day? We talked about the Castlevania castle vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're all just the rain suddenly stops and we hear, this heavenly choir and everyone, rushes out of the warren and the sword's been pulled.
I like that. I really love that. So then the question that I want to ask to kind of start to set the scene, maybe the montage that we get as we're watching the sword get pulled. What let's frame this let's frame this as the best I can describe it is Lion King opening credits. What's the opening credits thing that you are seen doing as and when you hear the choir and you look and you start to run over to where the sword is?
I have a very important question.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This sword, is it the sword of the god that the paladin just swore to?
I like that.
Or is it the sword of one of our gods?
Oh.
I like it more if it being the paladin's god, because I feel like the way we framed the sword as being our hangout spot was a bit too irreverent for it to be our god's sword.
Yeah, or some other god, some other human god, maybe.
Yeah. I really like the notion of that maybe we had strung various bunting and stuff up around, because that's where we hang out, and this paladin just tore down all the bunting and stuff like that, dismissing it as weeds or whatever. It could possibly be that guy.
Sam,
that fucking guy.
Oh, I'm making clicking noises with my mouth, but it wasn't getting picked up by Crisp. Yeah, that fucker, exactly.
That's very funny. It's very funny. I'm picturing the best I'm picturing is this very important character stomping through the body motion of stomping through weeds and tall grass of that kind of knee step and that sort of unsure movement, but it's moving around like goblin chicken wire and various directions, being oh, I gotta get to I have to get to the
Man, I love that. I gotta pitch this. This is some sweeping orchestral music. This is in the movie, this good animated thing, and it's all very epic, and we see this paladin struggling through this stuff and then pulls a sword or whatever. And then the camera just cuts perspective to these goblins, and you realize they're the focus of the story as this clan of goblins is just looking up at the hill. And Molds is just well, there goes the neighborhood.
Title card. Right.
Love it.
Yep. I feel like Forkstab is like, oi! Hey! Sorry, wait, I gotta get further away from my mic for this. Oi! Hey! Hey, get away from my sword!
Forkstab, I do not think that is a fight that you are going to win. That is some holy light shining down on
He's
that
taking
motherfucker.
He's taking our beacon! Look at that! How are we gonna know how to get back to the Warren now?
There's the briefest clip. Like we see the light shine, and we hear hey, and like one of the members of the I'm gonna say hard hat.
Mhm.
Hard hat. Hard
Yeah.
hat looks up and like very solemnly puts on a hard hat and lowers what I can best describe as like the makeshift goblin version of a spooky ghost mask. It's like a rubber, like an old terrible rubber like werewolf mask or something. It's like time duty calls. Lowers just the cheapest looking mask. It's like, here we go. We're doing it.
No, hold on a second. Don't rush off yet. We gotta never know what's gonna happen. These humans, sometimes they fuck around with the wrong thing and they'll do all the work for us.
Very true. I guess we should watch for a second, see what happens.
I'm already wearing the mask.
Yeah, no,
though.
don't take the mask off. I'm just saying, just stick around for one more moment. I may pick up the wilds here,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know what happens. No, maybe I'll pick up no, the gods are our gods. I have to see. Also, this game has an incredible thing called a countdown clock, which is very cool.
That was what I meant to do. Shit. Okay, so
I forgot about that, yeah.
yeah. The countdown clock, the more you push your luck, the more trouble your goblins will raise. Pretty much anything can threaten goblins in the right circumstances. Human adventurers, a particularly big wolf, a sunset far from the Warrens. The clock advances whenever a player uses a strong move without spending a token, and I love that that's an option in this game.
It's very good.
Goblins are incriminated for doing mischief, or it feels right to advance it. The clock can be turned back if somebody spends a token. You make progress dealing with a threat, or it feels right to turn it back. At 5 ticks on one of these clocks, the threat becomes noticeable. At 10 ticks, the threat begins to hunt for you. And at 15 ticks, the threat is inescapable. So I will do a little grid at the bottom of I'll put it under the map details and just put that in there. Just so we've got a thing to keep tabs in.
Okay, so here's my question. Picking up the wilds here. What is someone or something that can pop out of the fairy woods here?
It's another fairy calling this human paladin an asshole. No.
Owlbear. Always fun.
Owlbear.
Talking
fun.
wolf. Some Princess Mononoke shit.
I was gonna throw out an Adiug. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, what's that look like?
It's a weird D&D ass monster that's like this thing.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
And it's got 3 tentacles and a big jaw with teeth, and it's got like rhino feet. It's
He
just
looks like
sorta-
a friend. I love this.
It looks like, oh my god, have any of you guys ever watched this YouTube series where it's somebody building, like, from the ground up an entire biosphere and, like, following the evolution of its animals throughout its whole, like, it looks like one of those guys.
It's like it's like some spore. It's like some spore shit.
Yeah.
Where it's got like
great.
it's got spikes on its claws, and it's got a big mouth, and it's got rhino feet, and it's just this sort of big shambling thing of tentacles and teeth.
Okay, I love this. Maybe it's like a soft pastel color because it's from the fairy woods, and we know that this is a really actually sort of friendly, soft creature. But to somebody that's never encountered one before, that is terrifying.
Yes.
They just see the sharp teeth and the tentacles. But this is like the equivalent of like a sloth or something, but a bit faster. Just a very chill creature. Maybe came out because of the holy music and the sunshine and was like,
It's got
Yeah.
the energy of a big dog, right?
Yes,
like it's got
absolutely.
that big giant dog energy where it's terrifying, and if it barks at you, like, but the
Yeah.
reason that it's barking at you is because it's so big and so scary that it's not really afraid of anything. So
Yeah.
it's just it's very big, It looks scary, but like it's not afraid of you because it's bigger than you. So it's just kind of goofy and just sort of like kind of shambles out very kind of leisurely, tentacles just thrapping against trees.
Very much
and
like
stuff.
I suppose humans interact with elephants, just sort of like they're actually very chill unless you piss them off, but they're just like so much bigger than everything. They're just like, yeah, well, I'm here.
Yeah,
and Rune is just like, yeah, look, Ray showed up. We're good. Everything's fine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love Ray.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. No, yeah, he'll take care of it. Go for the legs!
Oh my
God,
God.
I gotta start backing up. I gotta start backing up more when I do that stupid yelling Foley, because it's, like, very blowing out my audio.
So does Ray get the better of this paladin who just pulled a sword? Like, because that's very fucking funny to me. I feel like when Mac picked that something happening was maybe made it was earnest, but like the notion of this paladin pulling out this massive sword and then just getting chomped on by Ray, just
That's
very
extremely
funny.
That's also, like, it fits the mood of what we've established so far.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it doesn't have to kill the paladin. Maybe just scares the paladin off.
yeah.
I would like to. Here's what I want to propose. And I want to propose this because off mic we were talking about things that are guaranteed to make us laugh.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to
Yes.
propose is that the scene that unfolds is us having a discussion about something else, and the paladin does not die.
Nah.
It's just getting obliterated in the
Oh,
background.
like getting picked up by the tentacle and like flacked around.
Runs at Ray with the sword, gets thwapped with a tentacle, slammed into a tree.
Yeah,
bloodied,
perfect.
wipes his nose, comes at him again, gets like wrapped up and just bashed on the ground a few, and this is happening in the background. And we are just like talking through whatever the threat that we're going to address is.
Yeah, and I
Fucking
think
incredible.
the thing that Rune says is Rune turns into Hard Hat and goes, "So how are your friends doing? The kobolds? They doing okay?"
Yeah, no, they're doing good. They're doing fine. I'm gonna pass away the warriors because that threat has subsided.
I feel
The
like in the
paladin-
background, this happens, like Ray just is smart enough to take the sword, who's just holding it way out of the paladin's reach.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ray's picked up the sword because Ray's gonna put the sword back after the paladin.
Ray is absolutely yes, exactly. The sword 100% goes back.
Yeah. So Ray, this is the point at which I think Ray like gets a tentacle around the paladin, like you said.
There's a shot. There's a shot in the background. Like we see them go off screen for a moment, and then there's a shot where Ray has the sword by the hilt and is carrying it downward like a knife, and is just chasing the paladin, stabbing his thumb like
Yeah, and they start running off and on frame. Like, and like at one point the paladin runs by and he's wearing a completely different outfit, like shit like that.
Very
Yeah.
And
Scooby-Doo.
meanwhile,
Mhm.
very Scooby Doo. And meanwhile, Rune is going, "Oh yeah, I'm really glad to hear that. Like, I know that y'all have been kind of worrying about them and what they're gonna do."
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that the paladins are the paladins. That paladin's not doing so hot. Am I right? No, I'm glad to hear that those kobolds are doing
You're
pretty
right,
good.
you're right.
Because
I'm picking up the kobolds here because I think this is a good time to pick up the kobolds and make the kobold move of introducing a kobold who needs assistance or I think this is you all heard about the mine collapse.
yeah, of course, yeah, we all
Yes,
heard it.
that's-
I mean, that
oh,
shit was
yeah.
out.
Hence me asking how they're doing.
It hasn't been great, the problem is that there's the natural caves, and this is frankly news to me. We got this sort of seventh hand. I'm trying to count because my buddy Goldhorn heard it from Murray. Murray heard it in a song from Bruce Kobold. Bruce Kobold claimed that his inspirations were sort of just like the story in the air, but like that story has some really direct. And seventh hand. I'm getting way ahead.
Seventh hand. Yeah.
That there's the natural caves, and then there's the constructed caves, and like the supports that are holding the constructed caves in place are not really, like, once they kind of start to bleed into the natural caves, they are not really compatible, and that's kind of what caused the collapse.
No.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty rough.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing that we don't dig out stuff. I mean, our warren's just it's our own thing.
And Mole's in the background is like, "Ugh."
Ray has put the sword back by this point.
Yeah. The holy music immediately cuts out in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, see?
Oh yeah, there you go. Sorry, wait. Thanks, Ray.
Oh, thanks, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Ray waves a tentacle and like lumbers back into the fairy world, and I will put the wilds down now.
I'll bring you a sandwich tomorrow, Raymond.
We gotta get that thing some good
Yeah,
meat.
it's just like, I don't know what kind of sound this thing makes, but it's one of those. And to like anybody who's in the vicinity who's never seen one of these before, they're like, "What the fuck was that?" And we're just like, "Cool, we'll see you later, Ray."
We love you, little guy.
Great
Yeah,
guy.
what a good
Great
little
guy.
Little guy.
Little dude, little guy.
Little guy.
They get. Here's the thing. They get way bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Ray, despite being larger than a human, is a baby, and like will grow into the Tarask in time.
Fucking yes.
They never stop growing.
Hi, it's August, and I just wanted to thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed us, please consider leaving a rating on your podcast platform of choice, telling your friends about us, or tweeting about us using the FTLcast hashtag. We are also part of a nonprofit podcasting guild called Standing Stones Productions. We do a variety of shows, including The Room Where It Happened and Dumb Kids Playing Hero, 2 actual play shows, and a Steven Universe discussion podcast called Gay Space Rocks. We also do live streams at twitch.tv/StandingStonesProd. You can keep up with everything that we do on Twitter at Stones_standing. Unfortunately, Standing Stones was already taken. Your support means a lot. Thanks again!